Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room and let's use all this nice equipment to make some proper trance music. Almost in every video I get this comment of like, can you make a video on this massive classic trance anthem from BT called Flaming June? Here, for example, I give you one example. Here, user Andre is saying like, hi, can you please make a video about BT Flaming June? Or see this comment, this student 86 calls, Guy, you're so awesome. Can you please make a video about the Flaming June and explain how this lead sound is being produced? So let's use the time and do so. Before jumping into the elements directly, let me play what I'm going to show you, and then we can talk about that in detail. For me, those are the main elements of the song. So let's jump in there. So obviously, number one, the piano. You can find those MIDI notes on the internet from a guy. I just link his video over here, and they work out perfectly. And BT was mentioning in another video, by the way, I'm linking this over here, that he was using a Roland P330 or something, which is a piano sound module, but I don't have this obviously. But instead, I think that the Korg M1 is doing a pretty good job on this, and therefore I'm using the in the M1, I'm using the M1 house piano patch, which I think sounds really amazing. On top of that, I'm using my favorite reverb plugin Replica. So check this out. I also took over the lead melody from his MIDI part, but just split it, and I am sending this one to my Roland JP8000 and to Serum. But for that, let's jump to the next main part, the lead sound. So in this interview, BT isn't quite accurate on what he was using for the lead sound, but I can tell you that the ingredients are obviously super saw and detune and fast attacks and release on the envelopes for the filter as well as the oscillators. And he is not mentioning a JP8000, but he's mentioning a Jupiter 8, 6 and 4 or whatever massive stuff I don't really have. So I was using the JP8000. However, in my opinion, the JP8000 doesn't really have fast envelopes, but I was using it. The alternatives I would have is a Virus B and my Nordlead, but the Nordlead and the Virus don't really make nice super saw in my opinion. That's why I was using this one. But before I was patching it on a JP8000, I was patching it on Serum. And I think if I just add everything together, I think it's a nice sound. Although it might not be 100% accurate, but you get the idea. What else is interesting is, if you listen carefully to the original, on top of the raw sound, which is the super saw sound, you have at least multiple effects. At least one is like a 16th note, if a delay, which is I think like this on top, which might be a spring verb or I don't know what, yeah, but I'm using just the fastest delay time I can have on the JP8000, as well as a 16th note delay in the Serum. And as well, to add more excitement, I'm using the built-in delay from my 01, from my Yamaha mixer over there. And on top of that, I'm using a built-in reverb. And I really believe that the staccato sound and the reverb is making up the sound wall, what sounds so interesting. So let's head over to the next part, the acid line. In the interview, BT is mentioning that he, of course, was using a 303, but I'm not so sure on this because my Behringer replica at least sounds different and it's more rough, not that clean as the 303 line, the acid line that you can hear in the original. And he was mentioning a bunch of other synthesizers. I don't really know what he was using for that. Listen to this. love is, and now this is really not part of the sound, but listen to this. So I was just adding some distortion and was switching from the saw oscillator to the pulse oscillator, and I think it sounds amazing, but it's not part of the original song. I'm not using the built-in sequencer of the 303 clone because I think it's just a pain in the butt. Instead, I'm using Ableton Live to sequence my 303, which is, I think, really nice, and I can achieve everything what I really would love to have. Plus, it has more headroom with notes up and down, I think, than the original sequencer. Number 4, the hard sync sound. You get the idea what I'm talking about. Listen to that. And what's happening there is I was patching this, by the way, already some years back when I was very into hard sync sounds. And it's quite easy to patch this with the Nordlead as well with the virus synthesizer, by the way. So hard sync just means you have one oscillator and another one, oscillator 2 obviously, which is synced to the first oscillator. So if you do so, and if you're playing the pitch of the second oscillator, you get this Daft Punk sound. Daft Punk was using this quite a lot. I think they were using a Korg MS-20 synthesizer, by the way. Yeah, but long story short, you can do this quite easy with the Nordlead. Heading over to the bass. I am using my Minibrute for that, and it sounds like this. And this offbeat sub-bass combined with the kick drum, I think really gives the groove in the club that you need. Last but not least, let's talk about the drums. Obviously, the whole song is like quite a Roland TR-909 dish, but I don't have a Roland TR-909, but instead I have my Digitakt and my machine drum. It happened that because of a project I was starting this morning, I already had those sounds already loaded. So I have the default kick drum from the machine drum, distorted it a little bit, which sounds like this. I'm using the machine drum because I loaded a 909 open hi-hat on this one. And again, it was just already loaded. That's why I just turned up the volume and it was there. Finally, what you need is the clap, which is a clap, but back then what these guys were doing is having a quite bright clap with a reverb on top of that. However, I think that the Digitakt reverb is not really bright enough for that, but you know what, I was patching everything in less than 2 hours, so you get the idea. Those are my drums. I believe that this song deserves to be a classic. It's because of the catchy lead melody. It's because of the piano sound of that Robert Miles era. You know, all these trance sounds had to have a epic piano part, right? So it has it. I believe the major part are the effects, the lush soundscapes and the pads that really makes this tune to be a classic, and it still sounds fresh in like 2022. So I was really surprised that I could not find any further information on this song, how it was produced and what is there behind, because I really believe the BT as well as Paul van Dyk songs of that area are quite interesting and really still fresh in the year of 2022. And I always imagine like all the lanes in Pro Tools maybe, or Logic or whatever they were using back then, and how many effects they added and how they created those sounds, and I'm really interested into that. And I hope I could give at least my thoughts on this, and maybe I could share some knowledge and add something valuable to our community. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really interested. Did I miss any part, or do you have any further information on the recreation of the sound? So let me know and drop it to the comments. And you know me already, I answer all the comments and I read all the comments, and I love to see your feedback there. So talk to you soon. Bye.